What's happening, guys and gals? Welcome back to my channel again. Today I'm gonna talk a bit about Human Chorionic Gonadotropin, also known as HCG. Before actually beginning the video, I ask you to have a great cup of tea or coffee, as I do, and recline your seats back and enjoy the video. Okay, let's begin. As you might have previously heard about, HCG is mostly isolated from pregnant females' urine. Recently, in the last decade or 2 decades or so, it's been also produced by recombinant DNA technology, which is also a process that's how other various of hormones such as insulin and growth hormone is produced by genetically modified bacteria most of the time. So the next question is obviously since it is a peptide, the next question automatically gets asked is where to store it. How do I store? The answer is 99% of the time is the same. You always store it in a fridge, but make sure you use a bacteriostatic water if you're going to use it multiple times, if you're going to puncture the vial multiple times. As you know, sterile water ampoules are quite sterile till their expiration date, but after the expiration date, or they somehow get contaminated or cracked or got open, they literally become a quite friendly environment for bacteria to grow and multiply. So make sure that you always use roughly, most of the time it's either 1 point or most of the time it's 0.9% benzyl alcohol. Sorry guys. Most of the time bacteriostatic water contains, by most I mean the 99% of the time, it contains 0.9% benzyl alcohol, and the rest is sterile water or sterile saline. So there are also some other products that are bacteriostatic, such as bacteriostatic 0.45% saline or bacteriostatic 0.9% saline. So always make sure you always use a sterile technique. You definitely don't want to get an infection or irritated, red hot, super painful to touch skin. Also, the injection of route is intramuscular and subcutaneous. It doesn't matter. Subcutaneous injection slightly makes the half-life slightly longer, and most of the people prefer subcutaneous over intramuscular. So where the most confusion happens. This is probably where the most confusion happens. How do we calculate the dosages, you might ask? And actually, it is quite easier than most people think of, or how most people somehow. I don't get how some people just get confused and paralyzed by over analysis. But as you can see, as you will see in a minute, it's quite simple actually. Let's talk about an imaginary case. Our imaginary case is Larry. Obviously, he's a male. And Larry has a prescribed 500 IU HCG vial with him. So, obviously, he went to a doctor. And his doctor officially prescribed him with legit pharmaceutical HCG. And doctor told him to inject 750 IUs a week. Okay, that's fine. But Larry wants a couple of things. Larry wants to inject that drug thrice a week. So he wants to inject 3 times a week. That's fine. Obviously, he's going to inject 250 IUs 3 times a week in order to get 750 IUs a week. But Larry made a mistake, and instead of putting one cc of water in HCG vial, instead he put 2 cc's of sterile water. So how can he calculate from that point? The answer is, again, pretty simple mathematics. Larry, after doing the mathematics, and Larry finds out that he has to inject 0.1 milliliters 3 times a week. The math is as shown here. He divides the 500 by 2 and gets the 2500 per cc, 2500 cc IU per cc, and he divides it by 10 and gets the 250 IU, which is his original goal. So he has to inject 1/10 of SCC, which is 0.1 milliliter, 0.1 cc. Also, there is a fun fact. Number 1, you can get positive pregnancy result with a HCG sample. If you drop the HCG sample on the sponge or spongy, the place where a pregnancy test has a spongy texture, you can get a positive result, because pregnancy tests check the beta subunit, which is the differentiating subunit of the various hormones from LH, FSH to HCG and also TSH. They all share the same alpha subunit but have slightly different beta subunits. Also, you might partially verify the product you have by a urine pregnancy test. Although this wouldn't tell you the concentration of the product you have, such as having an overdose or underdose product, but it might tell you a very rough idea. It might give you a very rough idea that whether your product is legit or not. Or sometimes for the guys who want to do experiments, they also do experiments like putting couple drops of Chinese growth hormone and testing them on pregnancy tests. Testing them with pregnancy tests. If they somehow get a positive result, it means that they probably got faked by HCG instead of growth hormone. Also, there's a very big misconception on the internet or on the forums that misconception was there, I would say, till 67 years ago. Till 67 years ago, the majority of the forums still taught that HCG was a part of PCT, which means post-cycle therapy. But interestingly, PCT stands for post-cycle therapy. So the objective of PCT is increasing the testosterone values with increased LH and FSH. If you somehow use HCG, your LH and FSH will decrease. So obviously it is not a post-cycle therapy, technically. And it's, as I've said previously, the molecular structure of HCG resembles TSH, LH, and FSH. They are very similar, and they have the identical alpha subunit. And again, it activated what makes HCG important is it is LH mimicking effects. So HCG activates the Leydig cells and make them start producing steroids again. So obviously, if you're a male, it means that testosterone, if you have healthy functioning gonads, you're going to start producing testosterone with HCG. And this is how HCG works. As you can see, your hypothalamus produces the GnRH and commands your anterior pituitary gland to produce LH and FSH in order to signal your testes, your glands, to produce testosterone. By having enough testosterone concentrations and also estradiol, they both send a negative a feedback that tells them to produce less because they got up to a concentration that your body is somehow happy about the concentration. So it wants to maintain that concentration, i.e. sort of it's like a homeostasis. But again, that's that thing, it is in a perfectly functioning body. Obviously, if you are somehow testosterone deficiency, this does not tell the whole story. If you use HCG, again, your testes gets signaled like LH does, which for those who don't know, LH is the responsible part for the testosterone production, not the FSH. HCG acts like LH, and it activates the Leydig cells, and Leydig cells, obviously, they produce testosterone, and the feedback mechanism happens again, and your body produces less LH, and obviously FSH too. So HCG itself will not boost your testosterone levels unless you exceed your baseline gonad simulation. It is pretty much like a guy asking whether 10 milligram or 5 milligram of testosterone can boost his serum testosterone levels. The answer is no, because if you use such a low dose, your body will realize it, and it's going to produce even less. So it does not technically boost your hormones. HCG makes gonads produce testosterone, obviously, that will suppress the HPTA, and indirectly aromatize estradiol, which is the end product of the aromatization, i.e., when testosterone gets aromatized by aromatase enzyme, which consists of several steps. It becomes estrogen. So you might ask that, or someone might ask that, then what's the purpose of HCG if it suppresses LH and FSH? The primary reasons are: one, maintaining the testicular volume on TRT, or when abusing steroids, or if you're not able to get a prescription for testosterone for a month or so, you might use HCG. That might help you to maintain testicular volume, or even it can sometimes be used as a monotherapy. And again, producing the endogenous testosterone. And with the in order to also having a functioning testosterone production and healthy sperm production, you need to have healthy intratesticular testosterone, and HCG does that too. Without having adequate intratesticular testosterone levels, chances are you won't be fertile. You won't be fertile because without HCG or LH, aka having leg stimulation, that results in intratesticular testosterone production. Long story short, you need to have adequate intratesticular testosterone in order to have healthy sperm production. And again, with having adequate intratesticular testosterone by HCG, you can partially maintain your fertility. And also you get other downstream or upstream hormone productions, such as progesterone and pregnenolone hormones, and other downstream hormones too, such as allopregnanolone, the various neurosteroids. And also it makes your post-cycle therapy more effective. That has effect too, because when your gonads are not shrunken, when they're not the size of peas or chickpeas, they are already sensitive to LH and FSH stimulation, so they respond much earlier with HCG if you maintain testicular volume. So the next question is obviously, then why not to take LH itself? Probably the primary two reasons are: one, recombinant DNA technology makes the drug less affordable. HCG is not the cheapest drug, obviously, to buy, and even with the recombinant DNA technology, it gets even more pricey. And also, LH has roughly 20-minute half-life, while HCG has roughly 30-hour half-life with subcutaneous administration. The half-life is roughly 20, 23, 24 hours with intramuscular injection, but with subcutaneous, it is roughly 30 hours. As I've said numerous times, HCG shares the same alpha subunit with LH, FSH, and TSH while having slightly different beta subunit and having additional 23 amino acids and different carbohydrate moiety makes HCG behave slightly different than the similar hormones. By the different behaviors, I mean having a maybe stronger binding affinity or having longer half-life. As you can see, the FSH, LH, and HCG has the identical alpha subunit, but if you take a look at the difference between LH and FSH, their beta subunit is still almost identical, except some modifications, some slight alterations. Again, unfortunately, HCG does not work in everyone. Just a second. It only works in males. It doesn't mean that it doesn't work in females. In male hypogonadism, it only works in males with secondary hypogonadism, which is the type of hypogonadism that gonads work, but hypothalamus not so much. Or pituitary gland. Megadosing HCG in resistant infertile patients can, this is anecdotal by the way, anecdotally increase the serum progesterone. And I've seen that increased progesterone values in some male, that increased values in blood works of males who wanted to get their wife pregnant, and they were trying high dose HCG instead of some HCG or some LH with FSH or HMG. And while it increased their serum testosterone and sperm count, it did not increase long story short, in those males it increased their serum progesterone. They had low libido, had high estrogen because of the high testosterone, obviously. They hold water quite a lot, body extracellular water, and they had enormously increased progesterone values that you wouldn't expect to see in a male. The obviously steroidogenesis consists of multiple step convergence of hormones, and anecdotally we can say that after a so-called saturation, after that point, a hormone can or might wanted to, your body maybe like to have sort of progesterone still, which is a phenomenon called by for pro-progesterone communities who likes to take progesterone, pregnenolone supplements. Pregnenolone stealing is a thing. Your body might turn pregnenolone into cortisol, or even sodium retaining hormones. The same thing might go for the other hormones too. After a certain threshold, after a certain simulation, you might obviously get less and less effect on testosterone, but more increased in progesterone. Again, HCG can be used as a standalone fertility drug or in combination with HMG, recombinant LH, recombinant FSH, SERMs, etc. The HCG also has Hypertrophic effects. It means that it can act like TSH, considering that they have the same alpha subunit. They share the same alpha subunit with TSH. It makes sense, and it is something well known in pregnant females whom have high HCG levels, which makes their thyroid to produce more T4 and indirectly more T3, obviously mostly after peripheral conversion. That eventually contributes to low TSH, while having normal T3 because there is an other hormone that stimulates the thyroid gland. So the other question you might ask is how to assess the dosage for replacing the endogenous testosterone when someone is on cycle or on TRT, or the same thing, that thing also might go for the SARM, cycling SARMs too. By the way, I'm not a fan of SARMs at all, but maintaining your neurosteroids, endogenous estradiol, some estradiol, and maintaining your endogenous testosterone production is a good thing overall. And in order to assess that, your serum LH and testosterone is more than enough, you only have to use that drug for 5 half-life. So if you are injecting it intramuscularly into your muscles using a long syringe, you need to wait 5 consecutive days if you are using it every day. And that and you might need to wait more than 5 days if you're using it every day, but subcutaneously. So it might be a week or 10 days. So you check your, obviously after the drug, when the drug serum drug concentration stabilizes after the 5 half-lives, you check your LH and testosterone, and you check to see whether you have a lowered LH while somewhat maintaining the same testosterone. If your testosterone remains the same and LH is lowered, you are on the right track. The next thing you're going to do is increase your dose slightly. By slightly, I mean I don't mean doubling your dose, or even I don't even mean 75%, 60% boosting your daily dose. By slightly, I mean 25% increase maybe, and wait 5 half-lives and retest again till you find your LH plummeted while having about the same testosterone values. You do not need to dump 500 IU at once. For testosterone production, 200 to 450 IUs of HCG every other day protocol is a well-known effective regimen for testosterone production, even on cycle. The weekly dosages over 1500 IU, are that high dosages are generally used in monotherapy, and less than 700 IU a week is generally used for cosmetic purposes, such as maintaining testicular volume. And anecdotally, again, this is anecdotally, but many individuals report enhanced mood, better productivity, increased focus, improved sleep, and better bedroom performance. And HCG, and very interesting, but HCG has potential to cure 5-alpha reductase inhibitor, aka finasteride and dutasteride induced erectile dysfunction and mood disorders via progesterone allopregnanolone pathway via steroidogenesis. With using finasteride or dutasteride, you block the conversion of testosterone to dihydrotestosterone, while also you are also blocking some conversion of other various of hormones, including pregnenolone to allopregnanolone. And also, it's quite important to note that pregnenolone and also or progesterone is potentially a direct and better treatment for that purpose, because you're directly taking a hormone that you are already having hard time to convert. So as you can see, progesterone cannot go under 5-alpha reduction. So it does not become 5-alpha dehydroprogesterone, and with its 5-alpha hydroxysteroid dehydrogenase, it does not become allopregnanolone. And fun fact, there is only one type of 5-alpha reductase isoform discovered in the brain. There is also possibility of intranasal applications of various hormones. The only dutasteride blocks the isoform in brain, and again, it's quite important. And the credit for the amazing snorting progesterone idea goes to Beyond Longevity. We gotta pay the respects, and I found that idea quite actually genius. And again, it is a quite anecdotal thing. I've talked about many anecdotal experiences, but we know that 19-nor testosterone suppress HPTA much easier. And once you're suppressed, obviously, you cannot suppress yourself further. And obviously, nandrolone and nandrolone derivatives are much more suppressive per milligram. And even after waiting for 4 to 5 half-life after your last injection, trace amounts of 19-nors can be still suppressive if you have abused it in higher dosages, like grams of nandrolone a week. And also, while being completely anecdotal, with high concentrations of 19-nor androgens, HCG seems to lose its efficacy. So people need to use more HCG in order to maintain their testicular volume. And that's pretty much it, guys. That's the end of the video. And let me know if you liked it. Please don't forget to subscribe, share, and like the video. And if you have any question, any recommendation, please don't hesitate to comment down below. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, take care and Have a great day.